It's 8 o'clock, Friday, June 27th, 2025. We have at least one new calf. There might be another one, but I'm not certain that it's a new calf. It could just be an old one. But Red gave us a beautiful white bull. That's Red over there. Boop. She has stuff still in her rear end. I don't want to take a film of that. If you guys want to find out what that stuff looks like, you can work on a farm. Imagine you're watching YouTube, so you don't have to look at stuff like that. But yeah, so another bull. And let's just kind of look at the calves that we do have. This is the one of my subscribers sent me a message saying that he's concerned that this one isn't getting enough food from his mama. This is his mama right here, and you can see her bags just aren't that big. And I share that concern. For the first couple of days of his life, whenever he saw me, he would make a lot of noise, which suggests that something was wrong. Now, he's younger than these calves by a few days at least. He's tall, he has long legs. I think he's a little skinnier, but if I had the equipment, I would be force feeding him right now, making sure that he got plenty of food. But I don't have the equipment and the wherewithal to catch and feed these calves. So that's an investment I haven't made yet. Anyway, I think I'll sell that cow and the calf Monday. So let somebody else that does have the right equipment and training take care of it. And as far as all the white bulls and heifers, probably going to get rid of them sooner rather than later. The question is, do they go with their moms or do I keep their moms? And I think in the case of Red, I'm probably going to sell Red. The reason why is Red is just too big for my farm. I want smaller animals. I want smaller cows. So Red was one of the ones that I was going to let go. Not because she's not performing well. She's performing just fine. But A, she's a longhorn, and B, she's big, right? And big has problems that I don't want to deal with. Not the least of which is pugging in wet conditions. And so probably Red and number 14 will be loaded up and taken on Monday. I don't think I can take any more than that. Just 2 at a time. And I'll keep selling the white calves. The ones that I do want to keep, which is a couple that have white calves that I want to keep, I'll just wait until probably the beginning of winter, or maybe early next year, maybe February. I'll sell them. Probably November, December, I'll sell them. That's probably the best for my operation, because I really don't get much growth after November, and the hay just doesn't have a lot of nutrition in it. Speaking of which, I have to put my order in for hay. Make sure I get some hay. Somebody suggested getting alfalfa for the sheep, and that I think is a wise suggestion. I'm going to look at alfalfa prices. I understand that it's a lot higher than regular hay, but it has a lot more protein content. So, and I'm going to feed it just to the sheep, not to the cows. So I'll have to keep the cows and sheep separate, which I would do anyway, owing to the fact that winter conditions with muddy spots with dry hay, if they lamb in the winter, they have young lambs, they'll put the lambs on the hay and the cows will step on them. So that's what I'm going to do. Our water bill, I think it was pretty high last month. Normally it's about 60 or 80 bucks. It was $200. So I have a small leak somewhere. And it's not obvious where it is. I have some ideas where it might be. I think it's like the second to last connection up there. I'm going to dig it up. I have an old shop vac, wet dry vac. I think what I'll do is get a generator, plug in the shop vac, and just suction out the mud and the water until I can get a clear picture of what's going on down there and fix it. The other thing I need to do is, when I installed the water system, I just kind of left it like, there's a T, and the T pokes up like this. I just left that hanging in the air, and then I said I'll just put soil around that, or a bucket, What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stake or a post down, probably one of these cheap fiberglass rods, and secure the pipe to it, so that if I do put force in the wrong direction, it doesn't move too much. Maybe what I'll get is a wooden stake, or maybe a metal T-post. I have a bunch of metal T-posts, and just drive those things all the way down. You know, if the T-post is hanging in the air, it's probably fine, except for the fact that the cows will rub on it. I'm trying to get Red's rear end out of the picture here. So that's some ideas I have. Just drive a T-post down there pretty deep, secure the pipe to it. I'll just use zip tie or something. And then, you know, not only will it leave a marker where the post is, but, you know, I can do some other things. Put a wire that goes around the T-post or something, or to the T-post, so the cows don't rub on it, otherwise they get a zap. That's kind of where I'm at, guys, what I'm thinking about the water bill. If you had told me that the water would be this much trouble, and I think a couple of years ago I got like a $600 bill because one of the pipes just burst, just fountains water in the air, and I didn't find it for like a day or two. If you had told me this, I still would have done it. The value of the water system is just immense, right? It's just so useful to have water everywhere in the pasture. Normally I'd only have the one watering point, is that pond, and that pond is filthy, disgusting, ugly, dirty. If I didn't put the water pipes down the side of the pasture, or the middle of the pasture, I'd have to keep them coming back to the end of the pasture where the water was, which means they would drink less water, which is not good in the heat of the summer. They would have to walk the full half mile from that back corner, or actually from over that back corner, 1,000 feet to that back corner, and then a half mile to where the water is. And they wouldn't spend much time grazing where I want them to graze, right? But having the water where they graze is just a tremendous benefit. The only thing is, in hindsight, I would have run the water down the center of the field. Probably built a fence, a permanent fence down the center of the field, run the water alongside it. And so I can do a true circular rotation where you go, like, you know, north up one half, south of the other half. So there's no cattle drives in between, like I do right now. So that's probably the only thing I would change, is run a fence down the middle of the pasture. Yeah, hindsight's 20/20. You know, I sat here and debated, I remember, for like a week, whether to run it down the middle or the side. And I went back and forth, back and forth. I ended up saying, I'm not going to buy a fence. I don't want to spend money on a fence. I don't know what I'm doing with fences. I'd have to bring in an expert to tell me what to do to make sure I did it right. It'd be a ton of work. It'd be another extra month or two before I'd finish the fence. And so I said, no, I'd rather have water now than water later. And I don't want to spend the additional money on a fence. Especially starting out, I wanted to save as much as I could on expenses. So just a bare minimum, I just put 1-inch pecks all the way down, which works okay all the way to down at the back of the field. I probably saved about half off of what it would cost for 1.5-inch or 2-inch pipes. HDPE would be the ideal for the water source, 2-inch pipes all the way down. And even though the water source isn't 2 inches, the hookup to the street is like, what, 3/4 inch or something like that. That kind of doesn't matter, because what you're doing with a thicker pipe is you're reducing the resistance, the friction. And so you get more water flow at the end, right? And so the water that comes in from one end is going out the other end about the same rate that it's coming in. You don't lose a lot of pressure when it flows. Now with the 1-inch pipe, I do lose quite a bit of pressure. So much so that if I run out several hoses from that last spot, the valve won't close and the water will overflow. So you need a little bit of pressure at least. Let's get one more picture of this new bull. Hey, Red. This new bull is probably only a few hours old, and he just had to do his first move already, so he's probably dead tired. Yeah, he's probably tired. It was funny because he was out there and Red was calling for him. I walked up to him and I called for him and he came to me. So they will let me touch him at this stage because all they do is hide. That's all they do. Red is being a good mama. Are you a good mama, Red? Yeah? All right, I'm done. I'm done. No reason to tick you off. In times past, I would have tagged the calf, but I'm not tagging the calves this year. Unless I plan on keeping them, I'll probably just tag them the first time I pin them up or take them to the vet or something. You know. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. Have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.